The article says the tourists began experiencing difficulties while swimming.
Oh, wow.
And this is where it gets a little heavy.
Yeah, you could just feel it coming.
We don't know the exact cause yet, but it does make you wonder, even in seemingly safe conditions, how prepared are we for the unexpected?
A scary thought.
It really is, and it gets even more intense because the article then says bystanders noticed the tourists struggling and pulled them back onto the catamaran.
Wow, so they jumped into action.
Yeah, they immediately started CPR and contacted the authorities.
That's incredible.
It really is. That detail really struck me. It speaks volumes about those bystanders and their quick thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a reminder that sometimes being a responsible tourist means being ready to act, even if it means stepping outside your comfort zone.
Right. It's like even on vacation, we're part of a
Mhm.
larger community.
We've got to look out for each other.
Absolutely. Now, the article goes on to say that the emergency response was swift. An ambulance and police arrived at Boca Catalina, and paramedics continued resuscitation efforts.
So they were right on top of it.
Yeah, but tragically, the tourist was pronounced dead at the hospital.
That's so sad.
It really is. And while the article doesn't pinpoint the exact cause of death, it does make you think about the potential risks associated with water activities.
Especially for older individuals.
Exactly.
Oh.
Even in those calm waters, things can change so quickly.
In an instant.
Yeah. And this is where I start to wonder about the safety protocols for excursions like this.
Right. Like what's in place?
Yeah. Are there lifeguards on duty at popular snorkeling spots in Aruba?
Good question.
What kind of safety briefing do you get before hopping on a catamaran?
I mean, you'd hope there's something.
You would, right. Like, these are all things you don't really think about
Until something like this happens.
Exactly. And then it's like, oh, wait.
Should I have asked about that?
Right. So it wouldn't surprise me if tour operators in Aruba have some safety measures in place.
I'm sure they do.
But this incident definitely highlights the need for regular review and maybe even strengthening those measures.
Yeah, like are there age or health restrictions for certain activities?
Right. And beyond those restrictions, I'd imagine the type of supervision and the availability of rescue equipment are critical factors too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'm picturing myself in this situation, and honestly, I wouldn't even know where to begin if someone needed help.
Like what would you do?
Would I know how to use a throw bag? How do you even signal for help effectively in the water?
Those are all things you don't think about until.
I need them.
Yeah. And, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a trip and forget those what-if scenarios.
So true.
This story is a reminder maybe we need a little refresher on water safety before that next island getaway.
Exactly. It's all about being prepared.
Right. Not avoiding these amazing experiences, but enjoying them safely.
This deep dive is already making me rethink my approach to travel planning.
Me too. It's not about living in fear.
Right.
It's about being informed and empowered and asking the right questions.
Of ourselves and the tour operators.
Exactly.
So where do we even begin with that? What kind of questions should we be asking to ensure our safety and peace of mind?
I think first things first, don't be afraid to ask those tour operators about their safety protocols.
Yeah, like what should we be asking specifically?
I mean, definitely ask about the experience level of their staff. Like who's going to be out there with you?
Okay.
What kind of safety equipment do they have on board?
Right.
And what are their emergency procedures? Like what happens if something goes wrong?
It's funny, we spend so much time researching restaurants and things to do,
All the fun stuff.
but we don't really dig into the safety aspect.
I know it's true.
It's like, oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah, you get caught up in the excitement.
But really, safety should be.
Top of mind.
Yeah, and speaking of risks,
Yeah.
This incident was reported by a local Aruban news outlet.
Right.
We might not have even heard about it otherwise.
That's a good point. It makes you think about where we get our information,
Yeah, like how much are we missing?
especially when we travel. Like, are we getting the full picture?
It's like getting a glimpse behind the curtain, right?
Yeah, you get a different perspective.
And it makes me think about the potential impact this could have on Aruba's tourism industry.
Right. Like, will this change things?
Do you think it could lead to a review of safety regulations for water activities?
It's possible.
Hmm.
I mean, it could spark some important conversations.
Yeah, about mandatory safety briefings or increased lifeguard presence.
Or even stricter enforcement of the regulations they already have.
Imagine the ripple effect. One tragic event could lead to positive change
That'd be great.
and ultimately enhance safety for everyone. It's a reminder that even in destinations known for their beauty and tranquility, there are inherent risks involved in any activity.
Especially in the water.
Absolutely. And it's not about letting fear dictate our choices.
Right.
It's about being informed and making smart decisions.
Exactly.
So what does that preparation look like besides asking those tough questions of tour operators?